Hello and welcome everyone. Hope you are doing well today. Welcome to my channel. So the session that we are going to do today is basically going to tell us about the overview of a Pega application. Okay, so let's get started. So before we start, let us first try to define what exactly is Pega and why is it used. So as we all know, or most of us know, Pega is a very popular BPM tool, which is business process management tool, which is out there in the market. Now this Pega application is actually built on top of Java. So the core of Pega is Java, but using Java, the various capabilities and OOTP features are being built in such a way so that anybody who has a little or no knowledge of Java should also be able to use this Pega application. Okay, and even though it is based on Java, but still the capabilities of Pega are such that it challenges Java based applications by building the applications much faster, and it also reduces the business cost. Okay, so if you want to learn Pega, if you want to get familiar with the capabilities, the OTP features of Pega, so this session will help you do that. So before, the first step to this is to download the Pega software. So you can download the Pega software or the Pega personal edition from the Pega website, and once you download and install it successfully, you'll be able to see the login screen, something like this, the screen that I'm showing you. Also, you'll be given an administrator credentials. So let's try to log into the application using the administrator credentials, and let's try to see the various components of a Pega application. Alright, so first things first. So whenever we log in into Pega, any Pega application, and if we would like to know the version of the application that we are currently working on, so over here in the rightmost corner, in the footer part of it, if you try to click on the link, you'll be able to see the version of your Pega application. So sometimes when we work on a project in our organizations and we get a new instance and we would like to know which version we are currently working on, so this is how you navigate and see the version of any Pega platform application. Okay, moving forward. So now the workspace that we see over here, let us try to break down this workspace into smaller chunks, and let us try to see what information we get from each of these. So first we will see the left navigation. The left navigation gives us various options that you can see over here. So recents tab will give us all the rules that we have opened recently, and it will be a list that you can see from here. Then comes the case types. So case types is a place wherein you will be able to see all the case types that are present in your current Pega application. Data types is another tab wherein you will be able to see all the data types or data models associated to this Pega application. Then there is something called App Explorer. So this particular app tab is also known as App Explorer. App Explorer will tell us all the classes that are present in our Pega application, and along with that, if you want to see the specific rules that are present in a specific class, so you can easily navigate using the App Explorer. For example, I just expanded the customer request class, and under that, when we expand the data model category, we are able to see that there are two field values that are created. Similarly, you can see what are the different processes, what are the different flows, flow actions, and so on. Okay, so App Explorer is something that we as a developer needs to be comfortable navigating with, so that we will get to know the rules are present in which class. Okay, similar to App Explorer, there is another tab that we call the Records Explorer. Now Records Explorer is basically a collective view of all the records and all the rules present in our application. So if you want to see, for example, if you want to see what are the different data instances, the data transform instances that are present in your application, so you can come to the Record Explorer, you can expand the data model category, and you should be able to see all the data transforms that are present in our application, and so on. So these are the terms that we need to be familiar with. So whenever we are working on any project and somebody tells us that, okay, can you navigate to the App Explorer, can you navigate to the Records Explorer, so we should be quick enough to understand that, okay, they're talking about this tab or this tab and so on. Okay, and then comes the favorites tab. So in Pega, there is an option to mark any rule as favorites. So the rules that we use frequently in our day-to-day development activities, right? So we as developer can mark them as favorite. And once you mark any rule as favorite, right? So those will be listed down over here. As of now, I have not marked any rule as favorite, so that is why I do not see any rules listed down here. So this was about the left navigation pane. Now let us see the top header options that we see in any Pega application, and these are constant features that will be present across all the Pega applications that you use. Okay, and depending on the versions of Pega, there will be slight changes here and there. Alright, so then there is something called Dev Studio. So what is this studio? If we click on it, we'll be able to see there are other studios also available, but the default one for this particular application is the Dev Studio. So Studio is also known as workspace in Pega, and then Pega has defined different studios for different set of users. For example, Dev Studio is a studio or workspace that is focused to hardcore developers. Then there is something called App Studio. So App Studio is another kind of workspaces wherein applications can be created with a minimal coding, and it is targeted for the business users or the citizen developers. Then there is another studio or workspace called Admin Studio. So if you want to do administrative tasks, for example your job schedulers, you want to debug your job schedulers or trace your queue processes or see the nodes are running correctly or not, or different sorts of administrative capabilities are available in the Admin Studio. Again, in order for an application to be showing these studios, there are different set of access group and roles that your operator ID needs to have, and that we will be discussing at a later point. But we just need to know what are the various studios and studios and workspaces that Pega provides us, and which category of users are these studios targeted to. So that much all of us developers should be knowing that. Moving forward, if you see, the application name is Pega Platform. So if you remember, I have logged in as an administrator. So when we log in as an administrator operator IDs will be pointing to the Pega roles or the plain PRPC application. So that is why you see the application name as Pega Platform. Now there is this application menu. Over here, if you click on the application menu, there are different options available. For example, we can see the application definition, we can create the new application, or if you have multiple applications or access group present in your operator ID, so you can also switch applications by clicking on the switch application and selecting the application that you would like to switch. So these are the different options or menu items available under the application menu. Then there is something called configure tab. If you click on the configure tab, you'll be able to see different variety of functions or capabilities or features that Pega provides us. Okay, we as a developer needs to use these in our day-to-day life whenever we are working on any user story or defect or any kind of use case. So developers should be knowing most or majority of these capabilities that Pega provides us. We will go into each of these, but in further upcoming sessions. Okay, then comes the launch portal menu. So whatever portals that we have in our application, those portals can be listed here, and you can launch your corresponding portal from here. Then we have the create menu. So create menu can be used to launch the case types, or it can also be used to create the new rules in Pega. For example, if I want to create a new data transform, so I can come to the create menu, I can select the data model, I can go to data transform and click on it. So this will create a new data transform form for me, right? Then this particular portion that we have, this is also known as the global search. So we can search any kind of rule from in Pega application by using the search bar that Pega provides us. This was about the top header menu. Now let's come to the bottom. So if you see the footer part of it, there are different tools available. For example, as a developer, Tracer, Clipboard and Live UI is something that all of us will be using in our day-to-day life. If you want to start the tracer, you can click on the tracer icon and you can perform the action at runtime. So all the rules that gets called at backend will be able to see in the tracer. Okay, similarly Live UI. So let us take an example that you have got a requirement wherein there is a UI and you have to update one of the fields in the UI. So as a developer, if you want to find out that which section is displaying the UI, so then in that case you can use the Live UI and you can get the section name. So it is recommended that as a developer we should be aware of how to use these debugging tools. There are other debugging tools also available, but these are the basic ones. So I think from overview perspective, this is what I wanted to discuss. We'll be taking up further sessions wherein we will build the application. We'll try to run the new application wizard, create a new application, and then we will go into each role type one at a time. For today, this is all I have. Thank you so much for listening. Please feel free to post any questions that you have on Pega. I would be more than happy to answer your questions and share my knowledge with all of you guys. Thank you. Have a nice day.